San Andreas in 3D, a 2015 release, a 1 hour and 54-minute film, 2.39 to 1 aspect ratio, so you will get the black bars at the top and the bottom if you're watching this on a television. This is 6.1 on International Movie Database, 51% Rotten Tomatoes, Dolby Digital, Dolby Atmos, directed by Brad Payton, starring The Rock, Dwayne Johnson as Ray Gaines, and the lovely Carla Gugino as Emma Gaines, his wife, and the adorable Alexandria Daddario as Blake, and Paul Giamatti as Dr. Lawrence. This is a disaster film. I guess I don't have to tell you that. Before I get into that, there will be some spoilers here. We will get to the 3D, but I want to say this about special effects. You know, special effects started way back in Wizard of Oz with the tornado. You know, they created that with a long piece of canvas, and they spun it around and they created this tornado, and it looked terrifying in the Wizard of Oz, and it was so real that they used it in other films also, okay? And then you got Godzilla. When I was a kid, I'd watch Godzilla. You know, it turned out to be a guy in a rubber suit, but we didn't see the rubber suit. We saw Godzilla. And then come fast forward to 2005, and you got War of the Worlds with Tom Cruise. That was the line for me. I told my son, I said, these special effects are just freaking me out, okay? You know, War of the Worlds, I had a hard time sleeping that night. I go, I don't want it to get any better. I don't want special effects to get any better. Well, here we are with San Andreas, and I want to say this. If you lived through 9/11 and you ran through the streets of New York, if you lived through the tsunami in Japan and you ran from the tsunami, you're probably not going to want to watch this movie. This movie is very, very intense. All right, so a little bit about the plot. Dwayne Johnson, he's a helicopter pilot. He rescues people. You know, that's his job. That's what he does. The movie starts out, and there's going to be some spoilers, starts out with a nice little rescue, a little 10-minute rescue going on there, and it's well done. Then it slows down a little bit. You start getting into Dwayne Johnson's life, trouble with his wife. He's and his daughters. There's some things going on there. So they try to bring this family element into this disaster film. For me, it worked. For a lot of people, it didn't, but for me, it worked. I mean, I felt the relationship going on with Dwayne Johnson and Carla Gugino. I felt that relationship. She really knocks it out of the park here. In fact, I think I read somewhere where she was helping people in the real 9/11, and she kind of brought that to the film. And the director, by the way, wanted the actors to do their own stunts. Dwayne Johnson did some stunts on and stuff like that on here, so they really brought some realism to this. And so he's having these marital problems, and there's a villain in here. Believe it or not, there's a villain. It's her boyfriend. You know, she's leaving Dwayne. She's going to go with this guy, and he turns out to be a villain in here, a mild villain at that. But he gets what's coming to him. But I want to ask you a question. If you've seen this movie, if you were that guy, and you were trapped in that limousine with Blake, would you have left like he did? I mean, I would have. I mean, come on. I mean, for real, you're saving your own life. But he did some nasty things after that. He really did, and he kind of got what was coming to him. And so then all the earthquakes hit, and the whole plot of this story is Dwayne Johnson has to get back and rescue. First, he has to rescue his wife, and then he's got to rescue his daughter, and that's the plot. And can he do it? Will he do it? And what do we see along the way? These special effects are absolutely, I'm telling you what, this is incredible. There's more concrete and glass raining down on these people than a South Florida thunderstorm. Unbelievable amount of glass and concrete raining down on these people. It's so hard to watch. And guts flying and smashed bodies and everything. People falling out of walls and fire and people on fire. And man, I'm telling you, if you like disaster films, you're in for a real treat. Let's talk about the 3D now. How is the 3D? The 3D, I would classify it as very good. The 3D is very good. There's good depth. Okay, are you going to get some pop-outs? You're going to get some pop-outs. Are you going to get a lot of pop-outs that you think would happen with a lot of falling bricks and glass? No, you're not going to get a lot of that, and you really didn't need that. The special effects are so spectacular, it's so realistic and nail-biting that you feel like that's enough. The 3D that they show you is enough. Now, where it has to be good, it is. It really is. And there are some pop-outs. Don't get me wrong. There are some pop-outs. You're not going to be doing this a whole lot, but There are some pieces of concrete that kind of leave the screen, and some pieces of glass that kind of leave the screen. And a lot of times, like you'll get a camera that'll come poking way out. You know, TV cameras come poking way out, and you get the helicopter. You know, it comes out of the screen just a little bit, so you do get that negative parallax. Not a whole lot. What's the whole show here for the 3D? It's the depth. It's the depth. And not every scene, they put the money in the 3D where they had to put it. That's where they did it. They put it where they had to put it. So you're going to get some spectacular 3D scenes here. So that's my take on San Andreas 3D 2015. I'm going to give the movie itself 4 out of 5 stars, and I'm going to give the 3D 4 out of 5 stars. So what'd you think? Did you see it? Did you see it in 3D? Did you see it 2D? Did you see this at the theaters? What's your favorite disaster movie? How does this rate amongst your disaster movies? Is this one of your top ones? For me, this is the absolute, for what I've seen in my lifetime, the king of special effect disaster movies. This is what I want to see in Geostorm. So I haven't seen anything that's more disaster effective visually than this movie here. So leave some comments below. I'd like to hear from you. Hit that like and subscribe button. I want you to have a good night. And as always, stay safe and God bless.